Hi, Jessica here with the Janelle team and Real Broker. Today I am here podcast style with my husband, Chris.
We're doing it live.
And we're doing it live.
We'll do it live. We'll do it live.
We have no script, no plan. We're talking about weather today and the extreme heat, not only in our area, but we have a little bit of info nationwide too that is kind of interesting.
Can you tell me what it feels like? For what it's hot, I told you again. Were you born on the sun?
We will get right into it. My husband, Chris, is also an agent, by the way. So oftentimes if you call into our line, a lot of times I'm out with clients, but Chris is in the office, so he's often taking the call and can help right away until I'm available later.
Me and the team.
So,
Me and the team.
Chris and the team, yes. Yeah, we have a small team, husband and wife realtor team, and then we have a couple others. We're a small team.
This video is basically a reshoot that we're doing live from the video that if you stick around to the end, we'll just roll that version next. But basically, we're going to lay out this one as an overview and then dig into this heat tracker that you might be able to see there in the background. New York Times heat tracker on extreme heat.
A lot of our clients that are moving here, one of the main questions that they have or that they're concerned about is the weather. So we have a lot of clients, not only coming from across the country, but also moving here locally from the surrounding counties like San Diego and Orange County, and people that are used to that more coastal weather. And so they are a little bit nervous about our summer heat, so we're going to give you a little bit of insight.
And it's been really hot lately, so every summer, once we have these heat advisories and starts getting over 100 degrees, we start thinking about extreme heat. And
this pop isn't working, Benny. I'm baking like a toasted Caesar. It's so hot here. It's 150 degrees outside. You can't play baseball.
Maybe doing a weather video tune-up. We've done 2 other ones now. We did It's Not That Hot, which is basically the summer video, and then It's Not Really Winter, which is about the winter.
Mm-hmm.
Both those videos cover most of the year, though.
We should specify that Chris did those videos. He is our resident weatherman, and he is in his burgundy weatherman shirt because he loves Ron Burgundy from Anchorman.
I'm Ron Burgundy?
Weather and comfort on temperature, it's a very personal thing. And so some people run a little bit hotter or colder than others. And Chris, he definitely runs on the extreme hot side. So he's constantly checking the weather in the summer and seeing what he's up against.
Let's talk about how people get softer. So California, some of us grew up in cold weather areas, winters and everything. And now you get kind of soft once you live in California for a long time.
Yes. And also with the heat as well. Like before, when Chris and I were dating, he was in Vegas for like 4 years where it gets much hotter. So the weather in the Murrieta, Temecula area, the summers, it is not Vegas hot. It's not Palm Springs hot. It's not Phoenix hot.
111 degrees? Phoenix can't really be that hot, can it? Oh my God, it's like standing on the sun.
This city should not exist. It is a monument to man's arrogance.
It is warm, but so he came from the Vegas climate and then out here and he's like roasting, although he came from a way hotter climate. But yeah,
It's summer right now. It's summer right now, so we've had a handful of days over 100, and it's the 90s out there, and I'm hot right here in our studio at home. Hot in here.
Yeah, well, we turn the air off to film the videos just so that you guys can't hear it. And yeah, he's probably going to start sweating. But I think that it's rather comfortable. It's actually, I don't think that it's been too bad so far this summer. So, let's just get the date. So what is it, the 16th? July 16th. So we're right in the mid-summer here. But I will say that our hottest months are August and then getting into September, like end of August. That is the peak season. So today, it's 82 degrees is what my computer says at the moment. So 82 degrees, it's going to be 89. It's going to be the high today. Tomorrow is going to be 91. And then we heat up into 96 into Saturday. So for me, like everybody is different. But for me, if it's under 100, I'm okay. If it's over 100, like that's a little bit hot. I have been
mid-90s. And when I actually first shot this video last week, it was high 90s, and we touched 100 a couple times last week.
Yeah, we had some heat advisories recently, and we had, 3 or so days over 100?
Two or three. It was right. It was right around it. So we'll call it 2 or 3 days last week.
Yeah, and we've had baseball for our son, and so Chris he's coaching, so he's been out in it. So we have definitely had to prepare with the coolers and the cool rags and lots of water and the fan over the bucket with the mister in the dugout. Yeah, mister type thing. So there's some things that you can do.
That's Moreno Valley. That's Moreno Valley where it's extra hot, 100 plus, and our kids they're ready for the heat. They were like little desert storm troopers out there. They were ready, and we were trying to just roast those San Diego kids. So they were actually wasn't as hot as we hoped. We actually hoped it would be hotter.
Yeah.
To those guys, to melt those guys.
A couple of these San Diego teams are pretty good, and we thought we were going to have this like heat advantage because we're more acclimated to it. But the San Diego teams, they still ended up winning because it was still under 100. So yeah, the heat factor I don't think played in as much as we were hoping. That's terrible, huh? It's competitive. Sports can be competitive in our area, I will say. Even kids' sports. My son, by the way, he's 7 years old, and it's competitive. It's amazing. It's not like when I was growing up where they didn't even have travel sports until you're like middle school or high school. Like it starts early. Let's talk briefly, about this article, or you want to just play it in that later segment?
I think I just want to roll with it, and it's going to be boring. I'll warn you that it's going to be a boring video. But maybe some people will like that. And I just run through this heat tracker on last week, and then actually started work on this video a year ago during the heat advisories last summer. So I went through 3 separate dates where it was super hot in Murrieta to show the people, what around 100 looks like in Murrieta, and then I just lay it out versus the hottest areas across the country. So you'll see this in that part of the video, but we've got, the whole United States where here's a dangerous heat, 103 to 125 in this bright orange. See that? So like today, this thing's still being updated by New York Times with this NOAA data. Okay. So the Southeast and it's heat index. Mm-hmm. So it's got humidity in there too. And actually, like Jessica said, we're doing pretty good right now today in Southern California, even here in the Inland Empire, and that's the desert out there. So here's Arizona, and then the desert, like Palm Springs, all that, and then we're here. Right now we're in caution.
80 feels like 80 to 90. Yeah. And then, but not too far from us inland, if you get out to Palm Springs, and then Death Valley, I heard just hit, I think, a national record, 129 the other day. And while some people might not have ever experienced 129 degree temperatures, I actually was in Lake Havasu with my family. This was like back in the 90s. I feel like it was like 1993 or something when they hit a record out there. It was 127, and it was over my birthday randomly. So that would be June 27th. End of June, 127. And I remember it was hot, but, of course you have the lake, you're going in pools. And then the other kind of issue, because I'm always cold, is that it'll be like nice or like warm outside. And then you go into a restaurant and you have to bring a sweater because of the air just cranking everywhere. It's like freezing cold in restaurants, even though it's 120, whatever outside.
Like, so 70 from 100 to 110, it's like a 40 degree swing. It's like jumping in the...
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. It is a little bit shocking. So that was the worst part. Like, I'm all about air conditioning, it's over 100 degrees, but sometimes they overcorrect with the air conditioner out there. So it's not like you're out in the heat roasting, thankfully. We're going to roll Chris's video that he's been working on, apparently unbeknownst to myself, for like a year. So it better be good.
That's good. And the baby's waking up. So let's just roll right into my video.
All right. We'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Here we go. Hi, I'm Chris. I'm married to Jessica. She's also a realtor, of course. We have 3 kids, including our newest team member, baby Jackie. Okay, let's move on and get into more data now about temperatures and the weather, not climate change.
But you're adults now, and this is an actual crisis. Got it?
And get into some of this extreme heat data and city comparisons after that, including Murrieta, which is the city where we live and work, as well as the neighboring cities of Menifee and Temecula. I don't make many videos with just me on this channel, but I did do a few on weather going way back to when we first started here on YouTube back in 2019. Again, time flies. It's been 5+ years. In my stellar It's Not That Hot video, check it out for a few laughs from 3 years ago, July of 2021. I talk about summer heat and the weather in general. I make some points in there like how I estimate around 10 days are over 100 here in Murrieta per summer. I stand by my research from then, but it does seem like it's getting hotter and more extreme each year. The hottest months are still June, July, August, and September, 4 months. And right now it's the start of July, and I have 3 days so far, 3 or 4 days so far with over 100-degree temps. But there have been a fair number of mid to high 90s so far in this summer. I started this video on Tuesday, July 9th, 2024, and there was an excessive heat advisory. Forecast was 103 for the high according to Alexa, though she's often unreliable, as you might agree. And as the day started, the weather app on my phone said that 100 was going to be the high. And then weather.com, you'll see on this graphic, showed the day touching 99 by hour. And I really do think it was a 100-plus day for sure. It was a hot one. Whatever the exact official high was yesterday, it definitely was a hot one, like I said. And it motivated me to do this update, this weather update video that I've been noodling for a long time since my last weather video.
One eternity later.
I was going to do an extreme heat video last summer when I gathered a lot of this research from this July 18th, 2023 article on New York Times about how Phoenix broke the record of 19 consecutive days of 110 or higher. So that article included this heat index tracker, and looking at it again today, it looks like New York Times is still maintaining that tool. So let's check it out. Here's a few screenshots of days of 100 so far this year. So I've got June 30th with 100 there, 102 on July 5th, and there's the July 9th with 103. So those are actually from Alexa, like I said. So there's my 3 or 4 days now of 100 or higher this summer. Here's a screenshot of my phone showing that 100 degrees as the high. I took that in the middle of the actual day there yesterday at 2 o'clock. And then it shows, over by hour that day. And then it shows the 100 that was the Tuesday, and then the Wednesday and the Thursday of 101. So that might take my count up to 5 or 6 so far this summer of 100 or higher here in Murrieta. Basically, I was just taking a bunch of screenshots, so I hope you find that interesting or helpful. Just let me know in the comments. And on that note, if you don't mind, please subscribe. These videos take a lot of time and energy to make, and we really appreciate all the subscribers. We're getting close to 4,000 now after these 5 years that I keep talking about we've been making YouTube. So it'd be great to get 4,000 subscribers sometime soon.
I can almost taste.
Okay, now I'm going to go back to that New York Times heat index tracker tool, and I took 3 samples last summer, and those were also on excessive heat advisories throughout that summer. There may have been more than 3, but I did this exercise 3 different times. So there's 3 different dates on those excessive heat advisories that I did. I did July 18th, I did August 5th, and then I did August 26th. And again, I think those were 3 excessive heat advisories, or at least really hot days, stretches of days. And the cool thing that this tool is doing for me is I can put in Murrieta, California, and then it'll show me across the country what the highest, hottest, and most extreme, dangerous temperatures there were across the country. Okay, so there we see it. That Saturday, it might have been July 22nd actually, and it was 97. The Sunday was 99. And this is a heat index tool that looks like it says the NOAA, National Oceanic Atmospheric Administration, NOAA. I always use their data. So it shows Murrieta at the top, in our high 90s. Maybe we were touching 100 some. But in like Corpus Christi, 114. And then a lot of Arizona's on this particular screenshot. There's Phoenix, Chandler, Gilbert, Glendale. Basically all of Phoenix. There's Baton Rouge, Louisiana, then more Arizona's all the way down to Lafayette, Louisiana. All of those are 110 plus, extreme danger. Here's another part in that tool where it shows Murrieta over that week and how it, goes to the high and then down to the low in the night. 95, there's 100 on that screenshot on a Wednesday on the heat index. So that's basically a week right there. And then for comparison's sake, I did Phoenix on that exact same day, that same week on this particular chart. So there's your 116, 113, 110, 110, right there, 109. Phoenix might break that streak of the 110 plus days. So super hot in Phoenix, obviously. So to get that Phoenix line chart, I popped it in, and then it made this table of the 79 hottest cities. There's Phoenix and all the Arizonas, of course. So here's the tool with Murrieta. Input is the city, and it shows the 79 hottest cities below that. So there's Murrieta with it touching 100 on Wednesday. So that's one of my 100 plus day counts in Murrieta compared to Phoenix and all the Arizonas right there. 110, 115 actually, 115 plus in all of those, with Tulsa and Lafayette down there at the bottom. Here's the rest of that table by city on that particular day, mid-July last year, 2023, with all these other cities. There's some Texas, Florida, there's Las Vegas, Nevada, Little Rock, Arkansas, Fayetteville, Arkansas, and there's a Fresno, California right there in the middle of that table. All the way on down, more cities with Hattiesburg, Mississippi at the top. There's another California, Bakersfield, right in the Central Valley. On this particular day, I got a little bit screenshot happy. I went all the way to the bottom of this table. There's Montgomery, Alabama, 103, and then all the way down to some more California cities, Roseville and then Sacramento in our Central Valley, which is hot, of course, but the 90s versus the 115 pluses at the top of that table. Okay, this might be what you're actually wanting to see if you're looking at our cities of Murrieta, Menifee, and Temecula and everything. So here on this batch of screenshots I made August 5th of 2023, I do Menifee, Temecula, and then I look at some of these other cities, San Diego, LA. So let's go through these now. Here's that line chart with the days showing the lows and highs, and I did Menifee. So there's Menifee touching 100 and 98 and so forth. And then there's that table showing Menifee as compared to the hottest cities in the country on that particular day. And on this particular day, it was the Southeast, Louisiana, Mississippi. There's Lafayette, Biloxi, Mississippi, New Orleans. Then there's some Texas, Fort Worth, and Irvine. Then I input Temecula on that day. So there's Temecula touching 94, 92, and then the 80s after that. And here's how Temecula stacks up on the table against those hottest on that particular point in time. There's your Lafayette and then the other Louisiana, Mississippi cities. So in Temecula with 94 compared to the 118 on the heat index. There's got to be some brutal humidity on that one. Then I input San Diego. Everybody knows the weather's perfect in San Diego with the highs in the 70s and low 80s on this particular point in time. 79, 82 for that week compared to the Southeast, Louisiana, Mississippi. So, of course, San Diego is great. Pretty similar to San Diego, but maybe not as perfect, is LA. So there's LA with 92, 90s, and then the mid-80s on that particular week compared to Louisiana and Mississippi. A lot of our people are from Orange County, so I put the city of Irvine, California into the tool on this week. There it is with 87, 88. Actually, as nice as San Diego and Irvine that particular week. So they didn't even get into the 90s. Compared to Louisiana, Mississippi. We've had a lot of clients from Northern California, so I put in San Francisco. There's San Francisco where I went to college, University of San Francisco, with the highs in the 70s, 71 to 75. I like that, particularly cool with the cool winters and everything. So there's your 71 and 75 versus 115 in the Southeast that week. The Northwest, Seattle. A lot of our clients come from Seattle, so there's 79, 79, 75 that week up in Seattle compared to 118 in Lafayette. Then I take us all the way across the country into New York, so I input New York, and there's the 80s, 83. They touched 88 on that particular Tuesday compared to the Southeast, Louisiana. So the last week of August, back in 2023, in the middle of the summer, I go through the same exercise and I look at all the cities, including ours, and let's get into that now. Here's our Murrieta where we touch 100, one or two more days that particular week. 93, 98, 101, 100 on the Tuesday. And let's look at what it was across the country during that week. Little Rock, Arkansas, Georgia, again, Louisiana, Lafayette, Mississippi, those southeast cities were the hottest on the heat index, so humidity is in here too. So there's Murrieta at the top with our 100 days compared to those other cities that were crossing 100 and even 110, 114 a little bit that particular week. Here's Menifee, a little bit hotter than Murrieta on this particular sample with 104 on those 2 hot days compared to Little Rock. And here's Temecula touching 100 on just the Monday on that particular week against Little Rock and the other cities in the southeast. Then I go through it again where I hit the cities of like San Diego, for example. So San Diego was 84 when we were touching 100, low 100s that particular week. So it's nice to be in San Diego instead of Little Rock or even Murrieta and Temecula on that hot week in late August. There's LA, where they were in the 90s on the Sunday, Monday, Tuesday. LA, 3 days in the 90s instead of us, 100, low hundreds that particular week. So there's LA versus Little Rock. Irvine again touching 93, 92 that week compared to Little Rock, 114, 100 plus in Georgia, 114 in Lafayette. San Francisco that week, there they are in the low 70s, topping out at 76 compared to Little Rock and the Southeast. So much better in San Francisco, of course. Moving on to Seattle, there's 83 and 85 as your high, and then 60s and 70s after that, compared to Little Rock and the Southeast in the 110, 114 heat index. Here is New York with 84, and then the 70s after that, compared to Little Rock and the Southeast. And New York concludes my city-by-city batch there in August 26th of 2023 on the city-by-city part. What do you think about extreme heat? Let us know in the comments. And do please let us know if you like content like this, or if you think we should stick to real estate, our market updates, our neighborhood tours, new construction, stuff like that. I do just try to mix it up sometimes. So let me know what you think. Have a good one. Bye.
You stick classy.